think we're both enjoying right
And
now.
they deserve it.
For me, who saw this coming? I'm speechless, but who saw this downfall of Liverpool coming, especially with the window that they had?
The window that they had, the fact that they won the league last year, like, I don't think anyone saw this coming. I'm shocked, but it is early. But right now, it's not looking good, bruv.
It's not looking. It is not looking good.
Secondly, the system change. The system change to accommodate Wirtz has affected the team and the players overall, in my opinion.
He has to hit the ground running, and he hasn't. I think now he actually has 0 goals and 0 assists in the Premier League.
Yeah, they've got to make some tough decisions. Like, if they finish outside the top 4, then I won't be surprised.
Hey guys, welcome back to Because of Football. Now, today we're focusing on Liverpool and their downfall, which I think we're both enjoying right
And
now.
they deserve it.
They deserve it. We're both enjoying this. Now, we're not going to waste too much time. Now, for me, who saw this coming? I'm speechless, but who saw this downfall of Liverpool coming, especially with the window that they had?
The window that they had, the fact that they won the league last year, like, I don't think anyone saw this coming. I'm shocked. But it is early. But right now, it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking
It is not looking good. It's not looking good. Now, as you just said, it is early. But there's a few signings that are very concerning. I want to start with Alexander Isak. Now, Slot a few weeks ago said that in terms of Isak, it's over in terms of pre-season. Like, now it's time for him to deliver. Now, for me, obviously, I know that he got injured. He was out for 3 weeks, and I think he was out against City. No, he came back against City. He was on the bench.
Yeah.
But he was out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, is it too early to judge him?
Yeah, definitely. Only because he didn't really have a preseason, and the ruckus behind the whole transfer. He didn't really have a preseason. He was isolated from the squad, and coming into a team like Liverpool, who play intense football, there's no surprise why he got injured, and there would be a lot of pressure on the price tag. But you would think someone like him would live up to that price tag anyway. But I think it is premature to judge him or call him a flop because we know what he's capable of. I think it's more so putting the blame on Slot rather than Isak on a number of things. All the club buying both him and Ekitike doesn't make any sense to me. Secondly, the system change. The system change to accommodate Wirtz has affected the team and the players overall, in my opinion.
That's very interesting. I think there's one thing you said about them signing, I think, both Ekitike and Isak. Now, you said that he's not going to flop and it's too early. But you have to think about things or factors, I should say, that impact a player actually being a flop. Now, Liverpool signing Ekitike, that's not in his control. Whether he plays or not is not really in his control, is it?
No.
So, for me, especially when I look at Ekitike so far, I think to myself, they're not the same, they don't play the same in my opinion, but they basically bought a player that is close to Isak's level and will be Isak's level by the end of the season. So what's the point?
I don't know if he'll be Isak's. That's a big statement. The reason why
he can be,
I think that's a big statement because I don't think Ekitike has ever shown the finishing ability of Isak. That's the only difference. When we talk about link-up play, combination play, dribbling, then Ekitike top. Isak can do that, but he's a deadly finisher. And if you even look at the stats, even Isak's probably got a better conversion rate than Ekitike because the amount of chances that he has, but he's not able to finish. Is like he doesn't really have what's the word? His ability to strike the ball isn't as clean, so that leads to a lot of shots being saved by the keeper. So I feel like until he polishes that up, I don't think he can reach the heights of Isak. Again, he's still young, so like you said, there is potential, but I don't want to downplay Isak because Isak is quality.
Okay, so My question now is, can they both play together? Because I think in a recent interview I saw, I think it was Jamie Carragher, I believe, talking to Ekitike, and he said, oh, like, how do you feel about Isak coming in, whatever? And Ekitike said, I don't see him as competition. I can see both of us actually playing together.
But he's not going to say he's a competition, is he? Is he actually going to say that on Sky Sports? He's not going to say that.
Some people will come out and say that.
I don't think he's going to say that.
You don't think that's his character, that's fine.
Yeah.
But can they actually play together? That's my question. How can Slot make it work?
They can play together. I could think of, I'm not saying I'm a football manager or anything, but I can see a world of them playing together, but the team is not built for them to play together. That's what it is. To have that 4-4-2, you need structure in place. You need things to make sense in terms of the player profiles that you have. When I look at that Liverpool team, I look at Kirkes, I look at Frimpong as your wing backs. That's too attacking. They're both defensively frail. So if you were going to have the likes of Isak and Ekitike up top, and then maybe you put Wirtz as a left winger who comes inside, and you got Salah as a right winger that comes inside, and maybe you got two midfielders holding. Ideally, because of the wingers are coming inside, you're gonna need the overlapping. But these players are not good at the back, and then you're leaving a 36-year-old Van Dijk at the back who hasn't had
36. Why are you aging him?
But he hasn't had the greatest of starts. He's too worried about what Rooney's saying about him.
I saw that. I think that one really got to him.
Yeah, just play football, man. Like, I don't know why you're stressing about what Rooney's saying. Like, it's part of the game. You're captain. You're a leader.
It really got to him. I saw the
Yeah, but it shouldn't though.
Yeah,
but it shouldn't though. You're a leader. Why should it get to you? But back to what I was saying is, it can work, but not with the current crop of players. A decision has got to be made. A decision's got to be made. Either Ekitike plays on the wing or Isak plays on the wing, and then someone's going to be the starting striker. But they can't play together with this current system or this current crop of players.
And I think the problem is that you highlighted that if they do 4-4-2, they have to go back to the market.
That's the point.
And not for one player. They need to go for 3 or 4 players to be able to let
fit them in.
Other players work.
So it's like the recruitment didn't make sense in the first place. It was just like, basically it was, I don't want to call it a panic buy, but they weren't sure if they were gonna get Isak in the first place. So that's the reason why they got Ekitike. That's the main reason why they got him, and that's why they spent that much money, because you don't spend that much money on someone that's going to be a backup. You don't. But I don't mind that. At least if Ekitike gets annoyed about not starting games in the future, Arsenal.
Come to Arsenal.
You get me? You're welcome.
For sure. Okay, so there's one thing you said as well. You said one of them has to play on the wing. Who's better suited, in your opinion, to play on the wing?
Do you know what? I think before I said Isak, but then I watched Ekitike, I think it was against Frankfurt, in the Champions League, play on the wing.
On the wing?
He shocked me.
But does he have the qualities to play on the wing? Because he's quite tall, and I don't.
Yeah, 1v1. Like, he was just playing like a traditional winger. Like, he's like, Slot gave him some instructions: beat your man, cross the ball. And you know what? Even though it might not be the prettiest thing, he made it look very, very effective. He was better than Salah in that game, and that's someone that we need to speak about, because Salah's been mute.
Yeah, there's a lot to.
He's been mute since he signed that.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. So, the last thing I do want to touch on is back to the whole 2 up top thing. Let's say they were to do it, and they had, let's say, the right players. Can it work in like, because you can actually have the right players to make it work, but will it work against other teams? Because I feel like 2 up top doesn't really work. The last good 2-man strike punch back I can think of, it's not even in the Premier League, and I'm thinking of maybe Lautaro Martinez and Lukaku. But besides that, when does a 4-4-2 or a 2-man up top ever work? Rarely.
I think the football has changed, so there is a 2 up top currently as we speak. When we think about last season or the season before, Haaland and Julian Alvarez, when De Bruyne was injured, he played as like a second striker, operating both as a attacking midfielder, but basically a second striker. And when you think about Havertz and Jesus, when we played Havertz in midfield,
that's true.
When you're actually watching the game, he's another striker. So it can work, but it's got to be molded different. So in terms of an Isak or Ekitike, I don't see how it's going to work unless it's traditional, like the traditional Premier League, Barclays 4-4-2, when you've got your Defoe and your Berbatov. But it's weird because they're very similar in profile. So it can work where, okay, one can drop and one can obviously run in between the channels. But when you have two strikers that are exactly alike, that's when things, I don't think they go well. Because, you know, when you think about Rooney and Van Persie, you had Rooney that would drop deep and he's spraying those balls, and then Van Persie's going to volley it first time. Or when you look at Berbatov and Defoe, Berbatov target man, Defoe link is going to be running in behind. Like, you see the profile. There's a lot
roles,
of,
isn't it?
it's different. So when they're so alike, I can't see it making sense unless they're both in tune with each other. Like, even when you see Gyökeres and Isak, it's a bit weird for Sweden when they play up front. Like, it's just weird. And that's why they didn't qualify for it looks like they're not going to qualify for the World Cup. Like,
well, I think there's they're in some sort of like playoffs.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like,
it's not going to happen.
They're both kind of like, they play quite similar. So like, it doesn't really make any sense for me anyway.
So in terms of, obviously, we spoke about this in the last episode, how players don't necessarily have a position. And I've seen some people argue this before. And I think actually one time, you know, Thiago Alcantara said this is all about Salah. He said Salah is not a winger. Salah's a striker that just stays out wide. Now, just on Mo Salah, what's happened to him?
I don't know, you know. I think it's too early to write him off to say he's finished, but I don't know. Like, I just feel like, again, the system. I just feel like people we're pointing fingers at players, Florian Wirtz, Isak, Ekitike, Mohamed Salah, but have people realised the shift or the change in system from Slot? Because
from last season, isn't it?
From last season, like,
very different.
It was a 4-3-3. Evidently, it was a 4-3-3, and maybe Slot came in thinking, I don't want to change too much. I've just come in. We've already got a good side. Let me just continue with Klopp's team and just tweak things, and it worked, and they ended up winning the league. Now, because everybody knows that Slot, before he joined Liverpool, he was known for the 4-2-3-1. That's his tactic. That's what he likes. That's what he wants to do. And he needed that number 10, because before that, there wasn't a number 10 at Liverpool that could play that position, an actual true number 10. So they buy Florian Wirtz, and they hope that he plays that position that Slot wants him to play. But it looks like the team hasn't adjusted to that shift. I know 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 isn't much of a big difference, but the way the team plays, the way the team presses, it all changes. The way the team defends all changes, because there's a system change, and then there's a player that comes in, and if you're not getting the best out of that player, then things are going to fall apart. And I think that's why things are not gelling right with the new summer signings, with Mohamed Salah, with Florian Wirtz. There's a lot of changes and a lot of player changes as well. So that's all contributed to the downfall of Liverpool at this current moment.
I think as well, you spoke about like the gelling of the team. Florian Wirtz has played a few positions this season. I know he's played, obviously, centre mid, but has also played out wide. Do you think him trying to find his actual position in the team has made it difficult for him as well to kind of acclimatise, not even to the league, just to be a Liverpool player? Do you think that's had a big impact on that?
Not really, because at Bayern Leverkusen, he was doing the same thing. Sometimes he'll play out wide, sometimes he'll play in the middle. Same for Germany. So I can't see why it would make a big difference.
I mean, new league, new coach, different instructions.
And we have to give him some grace. Can't you give... I know he's 116 million, but we always... Like, okay, think about Firmino. He didn't hit the ground running when he first came to...
Firmino.
Yeah, he didn't hit the ground running when he came to Liverpool. Probably took him a season or two. But look at what he turned out to be.
Yeah, but he was not cheap at the time, but he wasn't 116 million pounds.
The thing is, Florian Wirtz isn't 160 million pounds, and it's not his fault that Liverpool bought him at that price.
He cost 116.
Yeah, but that's not what he is. That's not what he is. He's a 17 million pound player. He's not a 116 million pound player, but obviously that's what he's valued at. What's he supposed to do about that?
It's true. He doesn't actually pick his market value.
He hasn't looked promising, but if you watch the Frankfurt game or the games in the Champions League, he looks a lot more free. Like, he plays a lot more better in the Champions League, only because I feel like in the Champions League there's a lot of space, and
He looks better, but I don't think he looks great.
I think if you watch the Frankfurt game, he played amazing. He was probably one of the best.
Frankfurt game, he played well.
And the Real Madrid game, he was probably one of their best players as well. So again, the Champions League, he's adapted more to the Champions League, but the Premier League maybe is the tactics, the pace of the game. I don't think he's quite adapted to it yet. So, but yeah, like, what do you think? Do you think yourself, like, do you think we should write him off? Or should we give him some time? Do you think it's too early to write him off? Because he is quality.
He is a quality player. But for me, I know you said he's not an £116 million player, but that's the price he was bought for. And he has to hit the ground running, and he hasn't. I think now he actually has 0 goals and 0 assists in the Premier League. That's just in the Premier League. Obviously, he's got goals, assists in the Champions League. But in the Premier League, he has 0 goals and 0 assists. Now, if we look at history and other, we could say, case studies, I can name you players from the Bundesliga that haven't done well. And there's more that outweigh the ones that have done well. So, we have like the likes of Haaland, we have Son,
De Bruyne.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. They've done well. But then we can talk about Pulisic and Kunku, Sancho, Werner. I know I'm missing some players.
But all these players that you mentioned, what teams did they join?
Okay, United, Chelsea. Tottenham.
So my point is, if the environment isn't like a safe space for these players to excel in, it does have an effect on them. Because again, Xhaka was one of those people. We could put him in that category. People forget about Xhaka, how he was basically a flop. We thought we were getting a Xavi Alonso.
Yeah.
That's what they said. He was Xavi Alonso. Obviously totally different players, but you can see he's a quality player, top quality player. But it took him about 3 or 4 seasons for him to adapt into the Premier League.
Even longer.
Even longer. He had 7 years at Arsenal and probably had 2 good seasons.
Arguably.
So again, and when he joined, Arsenal was a mess. So when did the environment look better? When we got Arteta and he saw
Arsenal weren't a mess. We
were a mess when we
had
bought
just
him.
finished second.
Finished second.
Yeah, we just finished second.
You're a mess. We're still between Leicester was 8 points clear. We let a championship team get into the Premier League and then come first. And
so we were a mess.
We were a mess. Everybody else was so terrible that season. So there's no real excuse.
So my question for you is that you said about the environment and being comfortable. Ekitike. Why is he doing well? What's the excuse? That's what people want to know.
People adapt differently. Again, the whole Isak and I think the Florian Wirtz signing kind of put him in the shadows, don't you think? Because after he, like, people forget that he's a 90 million player. We don't speak about that.
I forgot about that. Good.
We don't speak about that. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's in the shadows. So he's a lot more freer when you think about it. Even someone like Frimpong, he's got the shoes to replace a Trent. So there's a lot of people clocking, this guy can't defend. Well, we knew he couldn't defend in the first place. So what was Slot thinking? Unless you're going to get some cover. So again, your system doesn't make any sense.
It's true. Okay, let's go back onto Salah. Now, obviously we spoke about Salah and I think we spoke about the whole changing system. Now, there's a common trend I see with a lot of older players and their contracts. So I think of Mesut Ozil. I think of Aubameyang. Those are the two I think of. That there's a whole kind of circus and parade around. Is this guy going to sign? Is he not? They leave it to the last minute. And during that time, they are playing the best they've ever played in their life.
Willian as well.
Who else?
Willian.
Oh, Willian. Wow. Yeah, that's another one as well. When he came to Arsenal, isn't it? They play the best football you've ever seen. And you go, wow, this guy's 30 plus and he's playing like he's 25. We must sign him up. Once they get the contract, they look like a shadow of their former self. Is that the same case with Salah? Or is there more to it?
Too early to say. It's not even been a season. It's not even been a season. Can't say, we can't judge it. With Aubameyang, we felt the same, but we didn't really actually kick in until maybe 6-7 months in. We was thinking, what is going on with Aubameyang? I think after January, he only scored about 3-4 goals, and then after we found out that he had issues with his mum, etc. But yeah, I think with Salah, because he's been consistent throughout the Premier League for about 7, 8 years, so we can't write him off. He can just turn things around and start banging in goals. So he's a bagsman. So it's too early to say. I think when it goes past this season and he doesn't perform, then we can look at it and think, yeah, he was basically playing for his last contract.
I kind of think he was. I kind of think he was playing for his last contract.
Yeah. Why do you say that though?
Because obviously I know the team is like very different to last season, but he is so different to last season. He's a different player. And the thing is, like I said, when we look at people like Aubameyang, we look at Ozil, those two, for example, they were playing out of their skin. Like, do you remember that time when Ozil scored that volley against Newcastle?
Yeah.
For a long time, we hadn't seen...
But did we give Ozil a new contract?
We gave him a new contract. Remember, we had to either give Ozil or Sanchez the contract, and we chose to give Ozil the contract.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Then after he signed the contract, he had a few good games, and then that was it. Then all the problems started to arise. Then I think COVID came not too long after, maybe a year after that. Emery came in, and he didn't have that drive. This is obviously from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I feel like, yeah, with Salah, I think he was playing for his last contract, because if he wasn't, he would have just signed the contract straight away. And obviously, I know it's a job, so that's something.
I thought they weren't trying to give him the contract.
No, they were. Remember, it was him, Van Dijk, and Trent, and they both signed. I think Trent didn't sign. But just on Trent, do you think that Trent is a bigger miss than Liverpool fans would have thought?
Of course. Because he's a unicorn. You can't get another Trent in the market ever again. Yes, you can complain about his defensive ability, but what he done on the attacking sense, or the attacking side of the football, or the attacking side of the pitch, can't be replicated by anyone. He was truly elite, and I know he hasn't had the best of starts at Real Madrid, but when he comes back from injury, you'll see.
So do you think that the fact that he's obviously left Liverpool, has that had a massive impact on even the way, not just the way they play, but maybe the environment as well in the dressing room? Because he would have been a guy that they looked to for set pieces. This is a Liverpool guy. This is a Liverpool man, so he knows how it feels to actually play for the club. It's more than just a club; it's a city. Do you think that they might have lost even a bit of drive and a bit of hunger? Because he would know how it feels. He's come from the academy as well.
I don't think so.
One of arguably the best players to come from the academy.
Nah,
do you think? I don't know.
Liverpool are too top, man. Do you think that made a big difference? Because Liverpool are too top for a player like that to have a detrimental effect, unless it's something like Diego Jota, RIP Diego Jota, when he passed away, and that can have a mental effect on them. But they've got leaders, man. They've got Salah, they've got Virgil, they've got Robertson, they've got players. So fair enough, it wasn't nice to see, but I don't think he had that much of an impact.
And honestly, actually, I think
do you think he had that much of an impact in the dressing room? Would you say?
Potentially, yeah, because I feel like even in terms of the creativity side, who takes that mantle now? Because now, as a teammate, obviously you want to be uplifting, but Florian Wirtz, you would have thought he'd come in and replace him straight away.
That's what they've probably thought would happen. Florian Wirtz. I think someone who they really miss is Luis Diaz, because he sees his goal the other day.
What goal in the Champions League?
Yeah.
The Champions League goal?
Yeah, Champions League goal.
And then even as well, I think the goal against Union Berlin when he dribbled and then
like when they saw, I think he wanted to go. That's why they let him go. But I was surprised that they let him go, because that is okay. Salah's gone. We're gonna rely on him, and he's looking like one of the main mans for for buying right now. So yeah, that's crazy.
That's the thing. I think with letting Luis Diaz go, I think the issue with Liverpool, there's too much change. And
I'm saying
last episode, remember you said something about, or 2 episodes ago, you said something about Pep, or Arteta, sorry, or he saw Pep buying like all the best players and spending money to buy the league. Arteta obviously he said, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe not Slot, but the Liverpool board kind of saw that and thought, okay, we're going to do the same. We're going to dominate the market. We're going to spend, I believe they spent around £445 million. We're going to do that. We're going to dominate the Premier League for years. Do you think that was the idea?
I think it's both of them. I think it's Slot and the board, because if you know, Slot is a big fan of Pep. Like, I don't know if you looked at the press conference between Liverpool, Man City, and he was basically idolizing Pep. Like, he's one of his heroes. So he looks at him with a lot of things, his philosophy, and maybe he probably looked at it as like, if I want to dominate football, I know I won the league, but if I want to dominate football, I need the best players in every position. So maybe that's why he probably thought, let me go after Isak and Ekitike, because that's something Man City would do. Because that was greedy for Pep to go after Haaland and get Julian Alvarez right after, because Alvarez was so sought after. Everyone was like, this is the next Aguero or Tevez.
Yeah.
And we can see what he's doing now at Atletico Madrid. So I guess
I would love to sign Julian Alvarez, man.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, man.
That'd be so good. But yeah, in terms of Liverpool, and I think their start to the season, obviously, I know Diogo Jota, he passed away, RIP, like you said. That would have a massive effect on how they're performing as well. Let's be honest.
I thought that would even spur them on to go on, but again, it can, because these players were his real life friends at the end of the day, so they definitely could have been affected by it in the most negative way.
Yeah.
So that could be a reason, as well as the system change. But yeah, I can't imagine losing a football teammate that helped you win the Champions League, helped you win the league, that you're so close with, that's been at the club for years, and to expect to go on and win the title again, that's a lot.
And I think as well, it's someone you see virtually every day.
Literally.
So go on to not seeing him, that's mad.
That's mad, yeah.
Because they're never coming back, unfortunately.
Never coming back, yeah.
It's really sad. But in terms of last month, October, 0 points in the Premier League. Now, I think currently, I know they set out the top 4. I believe they're around 7th.
Yeah.
I believe. Is their place in the top 4 in danger? Could it be in danger if they... Well, the question is, first of all, are they going to carry on the way they're going? And is their place in the top 4 in danger? Or is there going to be some sort of resurgence as the season goes on? What do you think?
It depends on if Sunderland continue being Sunderland. Big up Brian, man.
Come on.
Big up Brian, because that was a crazy take, and he's come through, because I don't think they would probably finish outside of mid-table as it currently stands. But yeah, it depends on how teams like Sunderland, teams that are currently sitting in the top 4, react over the next coming games. I think it's too early to write them off for top 4. But yeah, I definitely believe they can bounce back. It's only been 11, 12 games.
Yeah, it's about 12
There's
games.
another 20 plus games to go, mate. So
just gotta wait and
let's
see.
just see what happens in Feb.
Fingers crossed though. And as well, actually, not just Feb, January, the transfer window. Do you think they're gonna go out there and maybe find like a Luis Diaz replacement? Hopefully not, but
they've spent too much money, man.
Do you think so?
They spent too much money. I mean, they can, if they're like outside the top 4 and it's January, then yeah, maybe they might look to invest, but maybe probably in the defensive side, maybe a right back, maybe another centre mid. But yeah, nah, that's wild, because they spent a lot of money, man. They spent a lot of money.
So do you think if they were to add more players to this team, is that just causing damage?
That's not what they need. They don't need that, man. They don't need more players. They need to get the players to get used to the system that Slot wants them to do. If the system doesn't work, then the board's got to make some tough decisions.
Tough decisions?
Yeah, they've got to make some tough decisions. Like, if they finish outside the top 4, then I won't be surprised if they call for his head. Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, because you spent too much money.
Oh,
That's
but
the
that's
reason.
not fair. One season he's won the league.
Yeah, but
And then
we've seen it happen at Chelsea.
yeah, but that's Chelsea though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
but it's not normal for Liverpool to spend that kind of money anyway. So it looks like Liverpool are going through a whole new direction. So I wouldn't be surprised, like, to finish outside of the top 4, and you spend 446 million.
It's a lot.
I'll be surprised if they keep him. I'll be very, very much surprised. Very much surprised. Very much surprised, I'll be honest.
I think they would have to keep him. Give him another year, at least. Like if he
It
comes,
depends how bad things are, because like they lost what they didn't. I think they got 0 points over the last 8 games, right?
yeah.
So I'm saying if it continues, Liverpool fans don't play.
No, I think 0 points in October, so maybe 4 games.
Okay,
but that's still a lot
games.
though.
Like title challenges don't. So basically, they're not winning the league. That's what we can definitely say. Yeah, they're
You're
not
gonna
winning
write
the
them
league.
off.
Writing them off for the league.
So what you're saying is that there's no way that they can catch up to
Title
Arsenal.
challenge. Yeah, title challenges don't lose 4 games in a row. I think even
Did they even lose
Scorsese,
4 games in the season?
Like,
Not really.
yeah, not really. But when you look at City, they've lost 3 games already. So and they can still go on to win the league.
Yeah, but obviously they've got that
22
beast
games.
up top. So
Yeah.
You know, I'm just thinking, by the way, all this issue, I think, is Alexander Isak. If he had just signed for Arsenal, that's just what, for me, I think that he was always going to flop because the number 14 was ready for him.
It doesn't even suit him. Him in Liverpool he does not suit it, man. It looks weird.
It looks so wrong.
Yeah, it looks wrong.
And that's one thing I think about a lot. I think about, like, on the way here, I was thinking to myself, if he was at Arsenal, this wouldn't be happening.
It won't be happening.
There'll be no injuries, even though we have bad luck with injuries.
But you know, he's injury prone anyway. He's been injury prone. That's my issue with him anyway. So I wouldn't want Arsenal to spend that kind of money on someone that gets injured.
That's true.
So often.
I think at most it's probably worth 90 million.
I'd rather Julian Alvarez.
No, I would as well.
Yeah.
I think anyone would.
Yeah.
Anyone would. But anyway, obviously, that's our episode on Liverpool. Something for the Liverpool fans. As we said, hopefully the downfall continues. And obviously we'll come back very soon for like a retrospective episode on if they do manage to come back up, isn't it?
Yeah.
But guys, obviously thank you again for watching. AJ, remind them why they were here.
Because of football.